Hello. We are good. Making sure everything's working. Cool. I think we're good to go. Let me double check Twitch is actually working now. Just check. And ads. Always gotta have ads. Love it. Let me also go pull up the check-in link. That would be important. Check-in link. Where's this one? And maybe it will stop showing me ads. Maybe. Oop, not there. There. Cool. We are good. Alrighty. So welcome back to Snake Breakout 2. We talked about things with Snake yesterday, and so today we're getting into Breakout, but we're going to go over basically what the final version is going to look like as far as how it's working for Snake, and then we'll get into breaking down Breakout. But I did not finish things yesterday, so what I ended up doing today was that I went and found a couple different variations of Snake online and then kind of crammed them together, got it working, and then added our own spin to it on some of the things that we discussed, namely that I wanted multiple food generations. And so make sure things are working. Yes, they're good. Okay, so we still have our pets from yesterday. I have slimmed it down just a little bit because I wanted some slimming. I wanted to be able to see things. Hang on. There we go. And then to show where we're at, snag. So we have it changed just a little bit, although for some reason the up key doesn't work all the time for me, but that's okay. So as you can see, we now have it generating not when we eat, but when, every 5 seconds or so passes. It's a little cleaner, I think, than the other day, in that we have quite a bit more control. Again, minus that up key that I'm just like, is that my keyboard or is that something else? But I wanted to go through some updates. I also know that I technically assigned some homework to people. So if you're here from yesterday and you managed to get it working on your own, send me the GitHub link in chat, and then I'll go download it and pull it up. And we'll see if you just got it working or if there's little things that you added. We had some great ideas like making Konami code, give us some new, features, Easter eggs, that kind of thing. As you can see, there's no score, and that's actually something I purposely removed because I just didn't feel like calculating scores or contending with that. I've got a pretty long stick, so I'll let it go ahead and quit. And so now you can see it restarts, which is nice. The last one was kind of clunky in its restart, and I wasn't a huge fan. But if you go ahead and go to this GitHub link, it will have the updated Snake. And to come back to where we were yesterday, we talked about installing Pygame, putting Snake together with making a Snake class, and making an enum for directions, because just clean code is not a bad idea. Even if it's not the most concise, it is at least a lot easier to read, being that we now have a food class. And of course, a Snake class. And again, I did reference a lot of this from Replit, which had a pretty good Snake tutorial. But then I made some modifications to it, being that I wanted food to generate the way we talked about yesterday, which made me have to change some things. Namely, that this had to now become an array. I needed the fruit spawn time. Came up with the idea of a pause menu. Haven't gotten around to that, but that's something to think about. It's not the cleanest implementation as far as modifying it, but it's a problem for later, including here where we reset the game. Could be better, but it'd be like that. So you can see some leftovers from when I copied things where they're using spaces instead of tabs. Anyway, how is people's Global Hack Week today? In the meantime, if you did manage to finish your version of Snake, go ahead and post that in the chat. If not, we'll carry on with Breakout. So are dinos the new thing? Because I know there was like lettuce, but are we also doing dinos? I thought the lettuce was a dimmer thing. I think it was a mix of dimmer and Ryan is what I'm hearing, reading. Oh, goodness. So sorry. Another long day, but we're going to wrap up with today's stream and then get some food and take a nap, maybe, / go to sleep. The dinos are fun. I mean, they're cute. I do like dinos. I also like dino nuggets. Can't go wrong with those. Is there a dino in the pets? No. This is unfortunate. They have missed a whole market. Shame, shame. Unfortunately, no Peanut in the window today. She was in earlier and then she left. Oh, goodness. Okay. But so far, since no one's posted anything about their own snake instance, let's talk about Breakout. So what does Breakout need? For those who don't know what Breakout is, let me go ahead and pull up a sample. This is Breakout, where you're hitting boxes on the screen. As you can see, there's 3 different types of blocks, and they have basically different strengths. Obviously, if you lose, it means that you've left the ball to go beneath the little bar on the bottom, which I'm forgetting. I think it's called a paddle. I always forget that it's called that. But the point is that you're trying to clear the screen, get the most amount of points, get rid of all these blocks, yada, yada. And as you can see, the colors will start to change depending on how many times I've hit the block, where red is one hit means it clears it, 2 hits is for green to clear it, and 3 hits for blue. And so now we're getting into the mechanics of it, of like, you can move left to right. You can, in other games, you used to get power-ups where you might make the paddle longer. You might get extra balls to bounce around, which can be pretty useful. Extra paddles. It might go faster. It might be more powerful. Lots of different modifications you can make to this game. And just like Snake, we can also do a lot there where it's like, like a food bonanza and we're automatically growing our tail more. Or like an invincible pellet where it's okay if it eats through itself or something. Lots and lots of modifications. But the goal of today is to work on Breakout, get an idea of more of the mechanics, how it works, what we can finagle, with the culminating point being tomorrow that we make a Snake Breakout version, which is that maybe it's that we have the blocks that we're trying to break, as well as food pellets we're collecting to make our paddle or snake longer. But I also wonder if, throughout this workshop that you all come up with another idea or other ideas in which we might combine it. And so we talked a little bit about it yesterday, where we were asking things like, what features do we want to keep or remove from Snake and Breakout? I said we should keep like the snake's growth, because if the snake is our paddle, then I think we would be really happy with a longer paddle. But it does make things harder if we're both collecting food and breaking things. What if we were allowed to break things as a snake, but maybe we lost parts of our tail in the process? There's so many different ideas. And normally, the snake dies if it eats itself. And so how hard would that make Breakout? Because we have maybe less room to work with, or maybe we need to make a bigger screen. Maybe it just like ignores itself, bounces off of itself, like, smart snack. And also like questions about like walls. Like what if we wanted to go through the walls instead of having collisions on the walls? Lots of options. And then this is the snake could be the paddle that's limited to the bottom half of the screen, and therefore we have a dynamic paddle. Then we had some additional ideas, like we could add sound, we could add other new assets, some Easter eggs where we add actual eggs, pizza for the hacker mindset, that maybe a snake could grab things ahead of it, kind of like Yoshi and Nintendo. Have a 1 out of 100 chance to have rotten food, which could either end your game or remove some tail length or some score stuff. Then we have Konami code, which might turn the snake into MLH colors. Typing Blahage might give you Blahage skin. And then a hunger bar, which if you don't collect food fast enough, you start to lose some tail length. And so we already have some ideas. Having physics for ball spin. Breakout doesn't, but that's something we might be able to add or think about or plan ahead for. So I'll go ahead and write that down. And then we also have, yes, I do like that like rebound aspect when you finally get above. So that's another option. So we have physics for ball spin extra space on top. And then we have an extra button to turbo the ball for 3 seconds. Okay. Maybe that's a power-up. Alrighty. Y'all are coming up with fresh ideas. Love it. Love to see it. Nothing like turning a classic game into something a little more fun and classic in its own way. Okay. So I did want to... Did we need to go over the code? I don't think we need to go over the code. A lot of it is what we discussed yesterday, being that like we made classes for things and cleaned up the readability of it, because the ones that I had found I wasn't happy reading it. I was like, I don't understand what's going on. Like these should be self-commenting and they're not. It's a lot more, makes a lot more sense. Ooh, ball color changes. Okay. Solid. Hello. Looks like we have a pretty solid group today. Welcome, welcome. And then let me just make sure that I don't forget, because I forget all the time. That is the check-in link if you haven't checked in already. All right, let's get into it. So the appropriately named Breck, because I wanted it to be similar to Snick, because why not? So I've once again got a reference, that game that I was playing, that is our reference for our code. It's already made in Python, and you did indeed make it, Kat. You did indeed. Congrats. We haven't even really started. We're mostly just playing games. Right. So we have some bare bones functionality. We have initializing the Pygame, width and height, setting the name, and then we also have this new concept of game state. Something that we previously had that was upgraded from the original code that I had found was that they just said, well, true, run the Pygame instance and so on and so forth. But what happens if you want to like pause the game or have a menu or something? Then that introduces different states. And so we didn't really talk a lot about the concepts. And as those who have joined me in the past know, that I do like to explain the background of things, particularly because it gives you a better understanding. And that when you go forth and use these things, you're like, I know why it was made this way to help with something else, for example. So game states are pretty important. It can be your pause state, your quit state, your menu state, your game state, which is actually running. There's many ways in which you can refer to different states, but you might just picture how might someone interact with the game. They might get to a menu where they choose to start the game, change settings, do other things. You have where they are actually playing the game, which is another state. And then you have, again, pause or quit or save or other states like that, which you might choose from. And so, of course, with quitting, we want to make sure that we, gently close the application, no errors, etc., no Control-C or whatever. Not much except that I pushed some updated code. So the updated code is our functioning snake, which we can see here. Right. JK, I didn't push it. Hang on. Let me go push that. Now it's pushed. Hey, bless me. 3 hours ago. There we go. Now it's the code that I have up. Yeah, I derped. Now it's pushed. It is somewhat completed. But anyway, all the code that I'm referencing for Snack here is now on GitHub. Thank you. I forgot. This is not yet on GitHub. All I did was pull out some of the stuff that I had learned from the last few things of code that I was looking at today to put this together into a functioning-ish frame or window. And so what that looks like is it's just going to be a black screen. Python break. And as you can see, we can now interact with it. It doesn't flip out, which is super nice because that was an issue last time where we're like, why is it breaking? Please no break. But yeah, so I figured we might also, have a chance to maybe implement a quick pause menu while we think about what we need for Breakout. And right off the bat, I know we're going to need some walls, which means we're also going to need collisions with the walls to make sure that when we kick a ball off wherever it starts, that it, can bounce off these walls, but not necessarily die like it would in Snake. Oh no, not again. Oh dear. I would encourage you to try out Codespaces or some other online development environment for now, because at least you can start over and it will not mess up your computer anymore. Oh gosh, I am so sorry. That is so frustrating. Right. So having game states means we might run through something else. So this is probably not how you do it, but I want to at least stop Copilot. We have a reason. While pause equals false. While pause. We do want that. We don't need to worry about a display update, I think. We'll just move. No, that should go there. And then if event type equals pygame.key, I want escape. That one. Pause equals true. And run equals false. Hey, it worked. Ayo. That's good. Love to see that. Now let's go back to this and move this aside. And then let's see, set everything. Let's also have the same thing where it swaps it again. I'm just trying this out because I'm actually really curious if this will just work the way I think it will work. While run or pause. That doesn't need to change. Let's see if it will work. It should work. But I feel like by saying that, I should probably say what state it's in. That would be smart. Paused. I'm not doing text on screen because I'm kind of lazy and I didn't want to think about it. I know it's that you need to use Blit, and I'm lazy. Okay. It's not pausing. Uh-oh. What is my game? What is this? Trouble using the escape key to exit. Aha. They have key down. That's why. I think that should still be piping. Equals colon. That should still be pygame. Dot. Key down. Okay, let's try it again. Ah! Success. Which means we need to copy this. Copy. Now we have states. Yay. Cool. Now that we have a pause state, which makes me pretty happy, we can now fiddle around with that at a later point. Let's make sure. Oh my goodness, I didn't mean to yawn so much. Just be that kind of day. Gosh. Okay. So what else do we need for Breakout? I had mentioned walls. I'd mentioned that we need a ball. It needs to go start in some direction. What else are we going to need? We'll need some bricks. So we'll also need to figure out how we want to size things, color things, etc. Go ahead and close that. And let me make sure I can see the chat. Ooh, paddle. Thank you, Shenmarie. Thank you. Paddle is correct. I forgot. Like usual. Let's see. So, should we make a class or a function for each of these? The paddle is mostly just moving back and forth. So I don't think we need to worry about a class. It would be a good practice. The walls, we might want to make a class. Let's make the paddle first, though, so that way we can have fun controlling it. So we have the paddle. And, oh, look at that. What does Copilot tells us to, what does Copilot say we should do? So it will be tomorrow. Today we're actually making Breakout with the intent of understanding how it works better. And then we'll actually get into merging the things together because we'll be familiar with the code that we've developed enough that we can go, okay, if we move this here, this here, this here, this will break. But if we fix it like X, then maybe it won't break. That's the thinking behind it. Very incremental development of us. We'll see what actually happens though. Walls. Paddle. Because I forgot. Okay. So we have a paddle, which we know is going to... Let's take a reference at our snake stuff with how it moves. We have initializing it. Wouldn't hurt to have that. We have a respawn function. Don't know that we need that just yet. We will need a draw function. So maybe this should actually be a class then, based on the past. Paddle. Def. Init is good. Always good to have that. Moving it. Thank you. Yes, I love this, Copilot. Thank you for helping. What else you got for me? Checking the bounds. Wouldn't hurt. What else you got? Checking the collision. Yeah, we need to make sure for the walls. I don't know if the ball should be on the paddle or if it should be somewhere else. Let's hold off on that. But the point is we have a couple things we can fill in now. Alrighty. I also don't like this arrow function thing. We don't need the arrow function. We're being very simplistic today. Okay. So with moving it, we're probably going to need some kind of direction fields. We'll need some information about where it is. So Snack has respawn. We'll probably actually need that respawn for when we want to restart. And so in that respawn, let's say it'll be at the center. And we might want to give it a length. Just so that way we know how long we need to draw the paddle for. Let's see. What else might we need? How do we do movement here again? Moving. So we have the body of it moving. We have moving the next bit of itself. Right? And then we have it steering itself, which I think we might want to take bits and pieces of. Eating and checking for food. Why don't we take the left and right directions from Snack and put that here in move, because that's fairly much the same, which gives us the self-direction, or self-dot direction, which means we're going to need a direction field, which will give us this. And this becomes if, elif. We also need a direction enum, which we already have. Remember, we're trying to repurpose what we can to make it easier to merge things tomorrow. So the more that we use that's fairly the same, then maybe it might make it easier to merge things and we just import what we need. Maybe we might export these into its own class so that way both can use it, but I'm trying to keep them self-contained for right now. For the main function, we'll have, I've already started a little bit of work where I'm like, we've imported snake direction and food. All right. Okay, so we have a movement of the paddle, making sure that we're only checking for if left versus right. We have a direction. What else do we need? We might need to have it respawn itself whenever we start a new one. So we'll do self-respawn. What else? What else? We might need. Maybe we hold off for now and let's see what else we can do. I feel like some things will come with as we fill in things. Well, Copilot is telling me we have a class already, so let's have it tell us what we need. We have the ball itself, which is respawn, moving, drawing, checking, bounds, collisions, etc. Let's see what else you're going to tell us. We have the brick class. Okay. Let's see what you're giving us. We have drawing, checking, collision, and respawn. Do we need anything else? Is a wall the same as a brick? I think a wall can be made up of bricks. But we also might have a list of bricks with varying strengths. We'll run with that. So we have our main. We have a lot of other things filled in. Let's see. I'm just looking at the code reference that I have to see what I like and what I want to copy over and what I want to recreate. Because there are some things that I'm like, if there's already like stuff we don't have to think about, then I'd rather use it. But if there's stuff that we can recreate in our own way, then I'd rather do that. Kind of make it unique in our own, you know? Let's see. They create walls, and they don't have a brick class. They do have a paddle class, and they have the directions it's moving in, how to draw it, and resetting itself. And they also have a ball class, which has its movement, and then checking for collisions. Do we have checking the bounds of a paddle class? And I think much to think about. What else can we pull over maybe? Food is generating randomly. We don't need to worry about that. Snake class, is there anything? We know that we want to reset. We know we'll need the draw function. Currently this has drawing a rectangle. And then from each segments. Let's break down this rect function. Let's go look at it. If I'm not using caps, that would be great. Pygame. I think Pygame is no longer doing 2 point something. Ooh, coming up with title names in chat. Snake out. Snake out. Snake eyes. Break snake. Break snake. See, y'all are on the same page. I mean, y'all can post ideas in chat. I am always happy to take ideas. In the meantime, though, we are unpacking what this Pygame draw rect is and what it needs. Looking at it, it says that we need the window and color, but I want to look more at this tuple, which I'm guessing is probably the X and Y coordinates at which it's starting, as well as how big in the X and Y direction we want it to be. Just want to confirm that. So it looks like surface, the window, color, the rectangle to draw position and dimensions, which is going to be that object. Let's go ahead and open that in a new tab. We have the width of the line. I feel like that may introduce some collision issues. Let's see, some radii. That might be useful if we ever decide to do anything rounded. Alrighty. So it returns a rect object, but a rect is made up of the left and top. Okay, so it draws from 0, 0 being left and top, and then it draws the width and the height. Okay, and looks like there's a couple different ways you can make a rectangle. Solid. All right, so now having that understanding, let's copy this, and let's take it back to our paddle here and draw. Change that. What we need is Pygame. Oh my goodness. The Epic Adventures of Sir Slithers. This is a tongue. Hang on. The Epic Adventures of Sir Slithersworth, the snake-smashing, block-breaking, pythonic pursuer of pixelated peril. This is long. I love it. Did you make this or did ChatGPT make this? I'm just in awe. Y'all are good. Wow. That is impressive. I mean, you had a day to sit on this, too. You must have been cooking this up. Oh my goodness. I got nothing better. I don't have anything better. I got none. We're going to keep that up for a minute because oh my God, it's so long. It's so long, but it's so good. What did I need to import for that? That one. Oh goodness. I just want to take a nap, which is why my brain's slow. Okay, but coming back to this, we are drawing a rectangle. So our window is actually screen in this instance. Self.color. We haven't really given it a color yet. You're gonna make a better. I don't know how you're gonna make a better one. That's really good. Pygame does in fact make me yawn a bit. There's a lot of thinking involved of like planning, and I can only store so many things in my brain before I just run out of memory. And we're reaching that point. Games can be unnecessarily complex, but they are still fun and worth the time. Because like at least you can say you made a game and then you can go talk about it. Alrighty, we're gonna give it an arbitrary size. Let's say it's our width and height is 200 and 200 or 600. Let's make it 400 by, because it's left. So left is, maybe I need to swap that then. So 50, 400. And then we have the block size, and let's make that 100. And let's make, because it's left top with height. So it's going to be at pixel 50, 400. It's going to be 100 in width and let's say 10 in height for now. And let's see what that looks like. And what that will look like is that we need to render this. So let's go ahead and make a panel is equal to panel. And then we're going to need to go back and render it. So let's go see how they did it. So we have snake is set up here. And then we also have that you call snake.draw, Pygame window. We're just saying snake.draw. Oh, I see how they did it. Oh, that's fine. Snake.draw. So this should be paddle.draw. Paddle.draw. Let us see what breaks. It broke. It does not like self.color because I forgot to change it. What did they do for color? Great. It's going to be a tuple that is red because I feel like it. Try again. Oh, we have our paddle. We don't have it doing anything, but all right, we got another one. The Legendary Chronicles of Cersos. Lucky. I think your other one was better just because the alliteration matched and it seemed like it flowed better. But I do like the length of this. I'm going to leave that for people to read because you know what? Here's your new challenge. You got to make a title long enough to fill up the screen when I preview it. I'm really curious. Your mission is now to take up 3 out of 3/3 of that screen. I wish you luck while we make paddle. We are paddle today. Alrighty. So we've had arbitrary things that we've drawn. Actually, where was it? It's super on the left. Let's move it like 100 and see what happens. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Okay. So there's some formulas probably to figure out how to like center it and do whatever. But I want to see it move first. So let's work on getting it moving. So we know moving, we will get the direction. But what do we do with that direction? Oh, it looks like there's different ways to do this. Instead of getting the direction here, this is what's being pressed though. How is this being done? Okay, so we have keys being pressed. That's being steered. Let's copy this bit too, because we're going to need that in our main run state. So let's go back down and we're going to go here. I'm going to fix these and then fix this. Okay. We don't need steer, but we do need paddle. I'm going to make it move. Okay. So we have paddle.move. We have the direction it's going to move based on the keys pressed. And then we're also going to have to go back to the move function and see what we're doing. So we have the direction, but we don't really have anything about, we don't have anything about where it's going to move. Oh no, you can't. There's a 500 character limit. Ah, that's upsetting. That's upsetting. We could have had greatness. Wei is here. I can sense his presence. That's kind of sus. Just a bit. Alrighty. Let's get this moving. So in this instance, I'm actually going to copy it and let's unpack it because I want to learn more about why it works the way it do. So they have taking in the self, reset movement direction. Where are they getting the key? Are they getting the key? They aren't. Fascinating. But why? I'm just seeing what they did. Collisions, drawing it. We have paddle, game ball. They're so interesting to see. There's so many different ways to do things, which is why I looked up so many different ways to make Snake and then just put together the pieces that I liked and that made sense to me. Oh! Shots fired. Wow. That's cold-blooded. That is cold-blooded. Alrighty. So in this instance, coming back to the topic at hand, when we used Snake, we were taking in the key presses here in the main run state. And then that was passed into the steer and move to figure out what direction it's going and then updating all of the body. In this instance, they're doing it differently, where they're I guess they're just checking for it within the paddle class, which is interesting. I also just want to see if it just works out of the box like that. It didn't like that. Oh, that's right, because I didn't fix what I did. We shall get rid of this. Okay, now it doesn't work, which is better than it breaking. Oh, there's more to this move function. Wait, that's the wall. Never mind. They have not much to this move function. They have two things. They have a outline and a column for that, which I'm not worried about. I'm more like, what? They have self-direction is equal to 0. Get pressed. And then we're saying as like if the key is left and the self.rect left is greater than 0, which means it's more than like it's somewhere moving this way, right? But you can only move this way until you hit 0. Then subtract your speed and make your direction -1. Otherwise, make your direction 1. Which, let's get rid of these confusing things, right? Yeah, they made it this way. Maybe that was confusing some things. Maybe now it will work. No. Unfortunate. So we have run, we have check for stuff. Let's see. I appreciate the amount of dinos in chat. They're just really cute to look at. The lettuce, though, is still confusing. Why am I stuck? Where am I missing it? So we have event type. That's fine. We have display update, which is outside the for loop as expected. They draw it first and then they move it. Oh, wait. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Ah. But it did something. Has no attribute rect. What does that mean? Why do you not have that? I would cheer pitch with the dino dance, but I can't. I'm gonna pretend I know what that means. I got none. Oh, is it because when we initialize it, we don't actually have anything? Yeah, it's because we don't have them. Okay, so I put some generic stuff in. But so it was drawing it because I was calling draw. Therefore, it needs to move because I call move. But in order to call move, it needs to have this established, but it doesn't exist right now. So we need to make it exist. So I need to create a rectangle. Let's see what you give me. I don't actually know that it's going to be nice like that. We know that we need it to be in a direction of nothing because we haven't hit arrow keys yet. We know that we're going to need some kind of self.speed. So let's give it a speed of, okay, Copilot, let's do 5. And then let's also copy this. Maybe not. No, that's what was there. Okay. So we have the rectangle, we have, let's see. I think it's going to break on purpose, but okay, but it's not breaking. It's just not doing anything, which is different. Oh. You know, you'd think, no, I wouldn't know because I don't watch people's streams. Oh God. I don't watch streams. So I am behind on a lot of these things. The more you know. Today I learned. This just gives us more control. We're also streaming to YouTube. I think there's also some other reasons that I don't know. Alrighty, what else do we need to make this work? Maybe it was not supposed to be? Nope, unlike that. What else could possibly be wrong? This is actually pretty much the same. We have our respawn or reset, which is here. We have our rectangle. We don't have movement. We do have our draw and our move. Let's see if it actually... Print key. Print. Oh, you know what? Could it be because we are not actually using variables here? Let's leave that as color, but let's make this. Yeah, that might be it. Let's remove that print statement before we flood our terminal. Ho, ho, ho! We can now color. It doesn't wipe the screen, but we're getting there. Okay. And that was really, really, really fast, though. So let's see. It just goes off into the distance. I wonder why. Much to think about. Did we do screen width? We didn't do that. Interesting. And we are coming up on the hour. We got about 10 minutes, and then we'll take a quick break, get some water and some snacks. Looks like some people are already ahead of that. Awesome, but I would like to take a break to get a snack because I'm hungry. What are people's favorite snacks, actually? I'm always looking for new ideas. In the meantime, what else do we need to do? I think when we draw it, we need to make sure it has a limited length, maybe? We need to keep it a consistent length, I think. Ooh, adding a delay. Let's try it. I think let's try a delay here. Popcorn is a very good snack. Highly recommend. I've gotten really stuck on the Skinny Pop popcorns, though. My friend introduced it to me on a camping trip, and then I was like, they're so good? They're so cheap? And they're not that unhealthy either, which is kind of impressive. Whoa, I forgot that delay isn't like that. Yeah, that one. That's the thing I needed. Let's go put that back. We all wish we had popcorn right now. I even just finished the bag today. Ooh. Hey, that was a great idea, Shenri. Now it's just inching along, which is good. We'll take that. Lesser Evil Popcorn. I have not heard of that. Okay, so you know what? We're not clearing the screen. Let's also shrink this to 10 and clear the screen. Screen fill, yeah. Hey! We have movement, folks. Oh, this is so exciting. I just want to play with it all day. Let's up the movement to 5 and see how that goes, because that's pretty slow still. Okay. That looks a lot smoother. Nice idea, y'all. Sorry. Okay, right. We should keep going. Hello. Okay. So we don't have collisions yet, but I don't actually think we need to check for collisions or bounds since it's already doing that here in the 0 and the screen width. So let's go ahead and delete those for now. Okay. We have a paddle. Now, we know we're going to need a ball. We know we're going to need a bricks. Okay, Copilot. Sure, it's going to break, but let's do it. Let's see. So from what we've learned, we know that we're going to need to draw some rectangles, and we'll need to move them around in certain places. We know for a ball, we know nothing. We know nothing. For that one, let's go see what this code has. Well, hang on. We had something about a radius. So we could draw a rectangle with border radius. Left border, border, border. Draw polygon. Draw a circle. Draw a circle. So I actually have a funny story about circles. Which is that if you've ever played an improv game called Monikers, there is a card, and it's like basically charades where you have 3 rounds. The first round is that you're, playing with your friends. You have like the 2 teams or whatever. And so you're going through as many cards as you can within like the stack that you all picked out. And so one of the cards was revolving door. And so the first round, like you can use words that are not the word itself to describe it. And so you can use like analogies or like whatever. The second round, you can only use one word. And technically, you're not supposed to use any sounds or like charades with it. But we did for our game because like we forgot. And so they were trying to tell me revolving door. And so they knocked on the door that was next to them and then said circle. And it was really intimidating to be told, knock, 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 circle, knock, 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 circle. And just being like, I don't understand. See, you get it. I like playing with my creations. It's so fun to be like, oh, it works now. Okay, well, we're getting there. But right, circles. Let's draw circles. Let's draw circles. So probably the same thing as we would here. Just fix that. And we're going to need to fix this. This would actually be that we draw like this. Let's replace that. And we don't need this self.rect. We need circle. Self.circle. Circle. 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 It's still of type. What? Hang on. It's still the same type? Wild. I guess it makes sense. You want to make sure that it's like polymorphic. Okay. Okay, draw a circle instead. If I can spell today, which the answer is no. I clearly cannot spell today. And so for the rect of that one, it's going to be surface color center radius, which is different. But let's go do science and see what it looks like. Like nothing. Whoops. Oh, that's right, because I haven't drawn it yet. Hang on. We're getting the hang of this. Small dot draw. We're getting the hang of this, I promise. It doesn't like that. Missing a radius. That's, you know, you're right. We did do it on purpose to make it fail. Okay. We have the surface, we have the color, we have a center and a radius. And the center and the radius is going to have to be, the center is going to be that. Argument must be rect style object. Just let me draw what I want. Just let me draw things. Okay, let's go look at this thing. Left top. But I drew things. Hang on. Yes. Give me examples. Why would you not? Oh, there we go. Okay. So for, oh, they just have the, what is going on? Okay. So for a rectangle, they have 4 components and then the width of the border. Thank you. Stop that. I'm reading. Stop it, GitHub. Screen color. Then you have 2 of them, which is an array. And then you have the radius and the width. So these are slightly different. So it's not this. Let's go back. Wait. Let's just copy that. The internet says we can copy. But for what it's worth, it's been a really long time since I used Pygame. So I am on the struggle bus a little bit. Just a little bit. Okay, so instead of that then, what we're going to clearly need is position, which is going to be x and y coordinates. So let's make that 300 and 300 for giggles. And let's make the radius 10. I like that number. And then that should be, we should change this to window as we did earlier. No, screen. Screen. Looks like this is going to make a white color. Yes, we now have a circle. Yeah, it's been a hot minute. Cool, and we are now at the hour mark. So we're getting there. We're doing some really shoddy breakout work, but we're getting, again, the mechanics and concept and seeing, like, how do we put this all together? Let's take a 5-minute break. And when we come back, we'll work on getting the ball moving and bouncing off the walls. And then we'll be pretty much set for tomorrow for actually merging these things. So, yep, let's go ahead and take a quick pause. Okay, it has been just a little over 5 minutes. In honor of all the dino emojis, I made dinos as a snack. Dino nuggets are good. Alrighty. Oh, somebody made some progress on their game. Oh man, UDP. I feel like I'm back in the classroom having to learn Java and UDP and sockets and anyway, that is very exciting. Congrats, and fingers crossed it all keeps working. Maybe that's something I do next time. What if you did like multiplayer snake breakout? That would be cool. I don't think we have time for that, but that would be a neat concept. Yeah. Alrighty. So what we are doing now is working on the ball and its collision with the walls. Impressive. This is why I like the hackathon community. A lot of us have unfortunately had not so great experiences in the classroom, but we've turned it around and made it better just by going off and exploring on our own. And I think hackathons are a great way to facilitate that, but also like events like these. For example, like me streaming is actually me remembering how to code, which is why I'm like, I should know these. Let's go Google it, because I need the refresher. And so sometimes when you all have ideas or you mention things in chat, I'm like, yes, I need the extra help. So I appreciate y'all being here. Just don't mind me also eating dino nuggets. Okay, but with regards to it moving, so we already have a speed with our paddle. And so instead of it being with regards to whether a key command is pressed, I think we want it where it's just moving on its own. So it's going to have a default speed that is not 0. And it's also going to have a direction with that. But like speed could be like, plus or minus, and it would be in the X or Y direction, given that we have X and Y for like general like left, right, up, down, that kind of stuff. So I want to try something where we use the same move function and we purposely want to move the ball around. We're going to replace it, but I want to test it where we also have, instead of it being direction, wouldn't it be speed in the X or Y direction? I'm cheating and checking, because that's what they were doing as well. They have speed in X and Y. What if we just don't? What if it just is moving? Let's not do that. Or let's see what Copilot says. Let's see what Copilot says. I'm really curious. The answer is nothing. Lovely. See, dino nuggets are good. If chickens are descended from dinos, then yes. Alrighty, why did this not work? So we have the movement. So wait, did I forget to draw something? Yes. Yes, indeed. Doesn't like that. Doesn't have attribute velocity. Kind of what I figured. Speed needs relational movement, whether to the panel, walls, blocks, or both. So in this instance, it's using the screen width and height as a reference of like where it should and shouldn't go. But I'm not sure what this velocity thing is, so we're just going to give it an arbitrary value. Looks like it's a tuple though, so. Aha! Aha! Copilot was not useless. But it's obviously not going to move until it impacts something. And we don't have a collision currently set up with the paddle, but we have movement, which is promising. Copilot is actually quite incredible. I did not okay. I'm using Copilot on purpose because I haven't gotten a chance to. I mentioned this yesterday, but like I haven't gotten a chance to fiddle with Copilot or like use it. So like I hear everybody saying like it's okay. It slaps. It's so good. I mean, we have to like fix a couple errors and stuff, but if we know what to look for, then like we're fine. Like we knew we had to look for velocity and just set that up, and it was fine. What if we did that? I wonder how this will change. Let me go close that. Oh, yeah, I guess this is basic physics. Okay. Let's make it 1. And let's go see about collision. So we need to make sure it doesn't impact the paddle. So check for collision with paddle. What you got? What are you to tell me? We're going to hold off on that. I just want to see you impact it without me thinking about it. Okay, didn't like that. Oh, because we didn't check for it. We didn't check for it. Hang on. Where should we put this check for collision? Should it be in the move? I feel like it should be in the move that it checks. Yeah, let's see. Oh, what was that? What was that? Okay, the top worked. The bottom didn't. What was the bottom? I want to see that again. What? Whoa! That's a really funny bug. Interesting. I'm going to let that do its thing because I think it's funny. Wait. It's totally like, it's a different height depending on which direction it comes in from. Oh my god. Ooh. Metal ball and magnetics. I think that used to be a power-up that you used to catch the ball wherever it landed, and then you'd have to hit a button for it to go off again. So I think that makes me think. Okay, and then we have, there's a force field around the bottom of the paddle. Clearly, you know what? It's a feature, not a bug. It's a feature. It's a feature because I said so. Cool. So let's actually unpack what Copilot told us rather than blindly believing whatever it is that it just spit out. So we have, for the movement, we have it checking the position and the velocity and adding it to it, which becomes the position. Okay, that makes sense based on physics. And then the same thing for the y direction, or I guess the left, it's left top, so I'm guessing top. Y, basically. And so it's once again doing that. Or again, it's adding. So it's like if your velocity is 2 and your current position, like 2 in, say, the x direction and 1 in the y direction, then it's saying from position 1, 1, we're going to add 2 to the x, so that becomes 3. We're going to add 1 to the y, presuming I remember the numbers that I said correctly, which means it's 2. So then it's 3, 2 is the new position based on velocity, because that's basically slope. Okay, that makes sense, if I've done math correctly. That was a lot of math very quickly, but also not terribly hard math. But if we had acceleration, I would quit. I can't do that kind of math in my head. Okay, so once it updates the position, then we check if the current position is less than or greater than the screen width. So is it outside the bounds? And if it is, then we need to invert velocity, because screen width is going to be in the x direction. So if we want to invert it such that it goes the opposite way, again, physics. Okay, cool. And then we have in the y direction, checking for the height. And if it's like 2, if it's outside those bounds, and then again, switching the velocity in the y direction. And then we finally check for collisions, where in regards to collision, we say checking the position in the y direction plus the radius that's greater than or equal to the top of the rectangle for the paddle. And then we also have the position in the x direction, checking if it's greater than or equal to the rectangle on the left. or the right. So there's never a check for the bottom, which is probably why this doesn't work. Hello, Kat. You've missed some things, which is to say we used physics, and we also have broken physics that is now a feature, not a bug. Also dino nuggets. I'm just gonna let that do. That's my thinking too, because right now the only thing it actually checks is the top of the rectangle. It doesn't ever check the bottom, but it does check left and right. So if it happens to, I think, collide with the bottom at some point, that's where it kind of flips out. And so I'm wondering if we just need to do a duplicate of the bottom, where instead we would minus, maybe, perhaps. There is a bottom. I don't think it's actually that. I don't like this. Let's see how that goes. It's not gonna work, but yeah, there's also that inconsistency, which has me worried. I wonder what happened there. I think this is a drawing issue, but let's see what it do. I don't know what that is. Let's see if it impacted the top. Oh, it did. So something's up with the rectangle. Cool. At least we have collision. I'm kind of inclined to leave it as an Easter egg because I think it's funny. I hope it's really funny. Okay. Did I code space on the bottom of the paddle? I unfortunately cannot zoom in any further, I think. Well, I mean, I can, but there's a point where even I can't read it. We will get rid of the pets to see if that might help. And let's also minimize this because all we're doing is running the same code anyway. Closing this. Okay. Let's go see where we built the paddle. So we currently have it as a rectangle, which is defined here. So we have the top, left, width, and height, I think. Yeah. Or sorry, left, top, width, and height. Well, still, in case people can't see if they're on their phone or something. Right, so we have the position in the x, y, or the x-ish, y-ish coordinate, where it's starting from 0, 0 in the top left, and then it's like pushed out. But the issue we're having is more so to do with, I think, the width and the height. And so the width is 100 and the height is 10. I think this is fine. But let's scroll down and see. We made this at position 300, 300. It has a radius of 10, which is a pretty big ball. Maybe we shrink this down to 5 so the diameter is 10. And the velocity is in a singular direction, which is fine. Okay, let's take a look at this. So we have the position where it's going to be at about 10. Maybe it's, and then we have the position plus the radius. Okay, but this one doesn't have a plus radius there. Should they have a radius? Or position is y, or at least, yeah, we add the radius and we say if it's greater than or equal to the top and the x position is greater than left of it and the right position is less than that. So basically, is it on the paddle? Okay. If it's on the paddle, invert it. Maybe we need to do another check. LF. Oh wait, hang on. What did Copilot have to say? Let's see. I don't know what's gonna happen. Okay, we have a smaller ball now. We have a weird bug still. But the top is fixed-ish. I just don't know which is actually working for that. It's for testing purposes. We'll leave it. Let's check those corners though, actually. The corners had me a little bit worried. Let's see if I can get it to kind of catch that corner. Nope, I'm too close. Now that it's smaller, it's kind of hard to... Okay, so when it catches that, like, in that 10 pixel space of its height, it doesn't know what to do. So I think we also then need to check. So this is fine, but we need to adjust it here. Let's also comment this out because I don't think this was doing anything. And let's fix here where we have the position. Do we want to add the radius or subtract? I think subtract the radius, but we want it to be less than or equal to the bottom. I think this still won't quite work, but let's give it a whirl. Oh, that actually did it. Let's see how it affects the top. Hey, there we go. Let's go for a corner. Double check that. Okay, so corner is still kind of wonky. We don't want it perfectly in that corner. Or maybe we do. Yeah, okay, so it happens on both the bottom and the top, where if it catches that corner, it goes through it. It is a rectangle. Oh. What's happening then? Do tell. Okay, you had the issue. Character with diagonal movement. Clipped inside the corner of the wall. So what happened? How'd you fix it? Oh wait, hang on. We only ever fixed the y velocity. We never actually fixed the x velocity for those corners. So I guess if it's ever within those corners, then we need to invert it. Yeah, new collision rules for the corners. Ball is entering the rectangle through the corner until it exits out the other side, which is what we figured out when we realized it didn't bounce off here. Okay. So now I think we actually take this section where it's within the left and right, and we add another if statement. Let's put that there. If you are here. And then the thing that we're checking for is whether, because we want to make sure it's inclusive of the paddle, but not outside of the paddle. We'll come back to that, but we know that this thing needs to be switched. Where this is negative, and this is probably positive. Unsure. If you make the paddle double the height. All right, let's do it. Let's see it. I want to see it. Let's make it 20. Come hither so I can catch you in the corners. There we go. It kind of went and did it, but not quite. Interesting. It does roll with it though. Okay. So yeah, it is. That's okay. That's a quick fix. The rendering bit is that we just put this here. But let's double check and make sure that fixed it before we go in. Yeah, that fixed it. That's an ordering of rendering, which I can definitely talk for ages on because of the spawn, like the shader stuff I used to do, but that's not for today. All right. So we know that we need to check for the corners. Let's see what Copilot has to say for us. Check for corner collision between ball and paddle. Do the thing. what has it done? I cannot read this. Okay. So it's checking if it's within the paddle. And then within it, it's checking each of the corners. Oh my goodness. Let's copy this and then reject it. I don't want it messing up our code. Okay. Oof. Whoa, hang on. There we go. Shift, delete. And it looks like this is all beneath it. What was the original one we had? This one. Let's comment that out. That is filthy. It's fine. We're not doing that kind of level of stuff here. That's why we made Copilot do it for us. Let's see how it works. That ball is so tiny. Okay, it definitely has extra space on top now of the paddle. Let's see how it reacts to the bottom. Ah, we have some fixes. Okay. And the corner didn't work. Corner rejected. It was a good try. Alrighty. Well, if that's the case, I still like what we originally had. So we're going to keep that. And that will be a homework problem. If anybody wants to figure it out, that is not me. But I do like where we've gotten. We've done a pretty decent amount of being able to mess with it. Let's draw a quick brick and make it despawn when we've hit it. And then let's call it, wait, you right. I forgot we made it bigger. Hang on. You're right. Let's do that. Let's change it. 10. Let's see. And I still think we're going to leave it as a feature. Because I just don't want to deal with it being a bug. Come back. Hit the corner. Hit the corner. Nope. Okay, well now it's bouncing up and down. But it still don't do the job. We could make it even smaller. That is a tiny... Oh, but I still got it. Okay. I don't want to deal with it anymore. As in, it is now a problem for future me. Future me will figure it out. Not today's me. That's okay. Let's make a brick, get it to despawn, and then call it for the day, I think. So that way tomorrow we can jump into how do we want to merge everything. All right. What do we need? We need to draw it. Absolutely not. No. Yes, it did. That's when it can turn into a snake when the ball glides on the paddle. Oh, no, I didn't think about how we're going to deal with collisions on the... Oh, that's a problem for tomorrow's me. Ooh, wait, yes, that's right. We didn't decide what name are we going with. Hang on, let me go find it. So we have the lengthiest title, which has great... Where is the longer one? Is that the longer one? No, here's the shorter one. Okay, so here's the super short one, which is a great title. And then we have the longer one, which is still a great title. I gotta be honest, I really like the shorter one just because the alliteration is just better. I love a good alliteration. You play game. I do like it, but it's not descriptive enough. So I will have to type this because I can't copy this from StreamYard, which is dumb. Let's see. JK, I can copy it. Here we go. All right, I have the title. Let me go find, where is our title in this? It is no longer Snake Breakout. I like the interrobang too. The interrobang is good. Excellent. It is, but I also like it. It's not messing it up at all. I mean, we could put like, exclamation points and ones in there and stuff, but it's fine. It was the quotation marks that were messing it up initially, just because I didn't remove them before I pasted. Okay. In the 15-ish minutes, we make brick, and then we go to sleep. The paddle needs a front, back, left, and right impact surface. I'm not sure. I think that's going to be for y'all to figure out when I give y'all the homework, which is going to be finish it. Do your best to finish it. I think Breakout draw. Wait, what do we have? For bricks. Bricks. Draw. Okay, we have that. As for drawing it, oh god. So my VS Code doesn't realize that I actually have Pygame as well. Just an FYI. It did that to me for a couple times. It has more soul to not have corner collisions, in my opinion, which is worthless. Let's go draw a brick. How many columns do we want this to be? Let's just assume the default is going to be 5. And then let's make it 3 rows. And then, sure, if you're going to keep giving me stuff, I'll take it. Sure, I don't know what this means. Sure. Thank you, Copilot. We already have check collisions. Okay, so we have bricks append. Well, if that's the case, then we only need to say brick once. Let's see what works. Didn't like that. Kind of figured. Brick is not an iterable object. Oh, that's right, because I changed this. That, and then we shall do a draw function. Great. Didn't like that. What didn't you like? Oh, brick.draw. That's because I forgot an S. We have brick. It really hates those collisions. Let's go fix that. Where are your collisions? We've drawn it. Why do you hate it? Where are you breaking? My keyboard is not lettuce. My keyboard is homebrewed. This is the latest keyboard that I have decided that I'm going to own and build and do things with. Yeah, I built this. The cap sets that I had did not have enough for the fact that this was a 75% keyboard, so I had to Frankenstein some things. Yeah, I had to put some things together. So it has colors. I don't know if my cable is long enough to see that there's RGB on the side, but no, I think these are tactile switches. My others are linears, and I am eventually going to get a clicky switch, but gotta build that first. Okay, why did it have collision issues? So I like mechanical keyboards because I have control over what I like about it. Admittedly, my first keyboard was a keyboard with Topper switches, which was very satisfying to me sound-wise, and I've enjoyed it, but they're very expensive. I bought that as a stress buy during COVID. But I also bought linear switches, like a full-built keyboard that had linear switches, because that was just something I was more familiar with, and I liked the design of the keyboard. So initially, I wasn't a huge fan. I found them pretty noisy, but that's because I was listening to keyboards with switches that had like a heavier sound, and I found that I prefer lighter sounds or even silent switches. The only reason this is a tactile board is because I'm like, I will work my way up to clicky switches because they're a bit of a sensory overload for me. I do agree, though. I do like the feel. You have to be careful about the weight of the switches. The higher the weight, the harder to click it, and therefore the risk of strain on your hands. And so the lighter it is, the easier it is to type. And like you might even feel like your fingers are punching the keys if it's too light. So finding that balance is pretty important. There are tester switches, which you can go on like Amazon or any keyboard shop and be like, I want a set of tester switches. And they'll give you like a 3x3 or a 3x4 or however many switches they have to offer that you can try each one. So I've enjoyed my journey in mechanical keyboards, but I'm an engineer and I want to build my own from scratch. And so this keyboard that I have right now in front of me is the one that I'm basically testing and seeing if I like it. Is actually one of the first ones that I built and not bought that was pre-built with the intent of transitioning into making my own PCB for a keyboard, which is a whole other ballpark, rather than just like buying keycaps and buying switches and whatnot. I really want to learn how to make a PCB, so I was like, oh, well, I'll just make one for a keyboard because it's something I have interest in, and then like find the appropriate switches and whatnot. But I'm also pretty lucky in that I have a like keyboard shop nearby. I know there's definitely a lot in California, a lot being like more than one in California, but I have one near me. And so I'm able to like go and feel things and touch things and hear things, which is helpful. And the people there are also pretty helpful that they're like, oh yeah, like if you really like this, you might like this. Or if you like these things, you might like this. Or like those switches are pretty expensive. Here's like a cheaper version if there is one that like would be recommended. So there is in fact a market. There is someone on YouTube who is making their own plug and play PCB layout for a keyboard with the intent that you would like unplug, say, an LCD screen or a capacitive touch screen, or even like a screen you can actually work with. with like dials or speakers or other things that you might want to connect to that keyboard. So that's a whole rabbit hole if anyone wants to go through that one, because I have gone through that one. But I miss embedded systems, and one of the things with embedded systems is that you might eventually make your own PCB, which is great when you want to move your like prototype microcontroller smart home setup and do something that's like permanent, durable, solderable, etc. So yeah, congratulations on getting me on a interest rant, because you just did. I like building things. I just never have time to build things. Including code-wise, but I really enjoy creating. So these days, most of my creations are actually software in that I do yarn craft, so knitting, crocheting, etc., because those spin up a lot faster than coding, and it's easier to craft than it is to code some days. Anyway, we've gotten very off track. Not what I had intended, but I think we're still at a pretty good stopping point, being that we have a somewhat not really functional breakout game. I have no idea what's going on that left side. I have no idea what's going on that left side. That's really concerning. We're going to push this code anyway, and if anybody is interested, I'll post the GitHub link again, and what you'll do with that is that you might finish up the breakout game or play around with Snake, make your own modifications. Tomorrow, what we're going to do is actually put the games together and see what we can come up with, whether it's that we have a snake as our bottom paddle as we do here, and that we're actually making it, loop around. Oh my God, that was weird. I don't know. I think it's the paddle that yeah, it's flipping around with the paddle. Something's wrong here. Oh, I left this. This was supposed to be, this was never finished. JK, let's go fix that really quick. There we go. That should, yeah, that's better. Okay. Yeah, so we're going to talk about merging things and actually try and start merging things tomorrow. As usual, stream never finishes as like with a full functioning product, but with the intent that you can riff off it on your own. But I think we made some pretty good progress. We have a paddle working with collision. We don't have bricks working, but it's the same concept somewhere, somehow. I don't want to think about corners. That's not a problem for today's me. Today's me does not wish to cover corners. All right, let's go ahead and go push that then. Bad collisions. Yep, push. Alrighty. There was a bug. I have removed it. This is bad code. We should have just deleted that. Fix corner collisions. Yeah, so that's fixed again. Ooh, a UFO shawl. What is it? I wish. Is it knitting or is it crochet? I'm assuming it's. Maybe it's crochet. Ooh, look at that. That's cool. Unfinished object knit. I feel that. I have not seen in camera quite a few unfinished knits and crochets. There's literally crochet on my floor right now because I'm making a blanket for a friend. Somebody, I mentioned that yesterday. I think it was either 404 or somebody else. Oh, sorry. God, I'm tired and it shows. You'd think I would know that, but I forgot. It has been a hot minute since I've been in the crafting community because I felt like I got pushed out. Wow, I used to know that. Gosh, I just kind of hide in my own corner of the world and do things and then forget to tell people about it. Anyway, well, since you only have 2 inches of your shawl left, you should really finish it. It will feel very nice when you're done. But like I said, we are at time. We are at a good place where if people want to pick up and take over, then they can. Let's go find. This is our link. So if you're interested in forking the repository, go right ahead. If you're interested in playing around, excuse me, these will be our references for tomorrow, because the goal with those classes was that way that we could import it. Hang on. Up here at the top. So now we can import the paddle and the ball. Just a thought. But it might be that we don't use the paddle as it currently is. It might be that it's our snake. We might need different directions. Our ball seems fine. Maybe it's moving food. Ooh, what if we had rebounding food? Oh, yes. Do you have a GitHub link? I am happy to do that. I had said I would, and then nobody had a GitHub link. What you got? GitHub link pending. Okay. Rebounding mice. I love that idea. I like the riff. I mean, I thought it'd be like, oh, like, you know, rebounding fruit or something. Mice is better. We aim for disgust and distaste. No, mice are cute. I know not everybody likes them, but. Gosh, I'm tired. Should go on a walk. The weather is still nice out. Chicken nugget mice. Hey! Do you ever wonder if dino nuggets would ever make different shapes and what they would make them as? Because I don't think it would be mice, but I would love to see that happen. Ah, okay. Here it is. Gib link plus link code. Alrighty, let's just copy it since it's not uploading. And we're gonna name it Ooh, so fast. I like this so far. And you have good collisions. Oh, I guess that line was the breaking point. Does it bounce off of it? Oh my god, I can't get it. This is so hard. I like this concept so far. You're really killing it. Does it actually? I can't get to the ball in time to see if it will actually rebound off the snake. I'm like just missing it. This is very snappy. I like the response rate. Okay, it does not. It does. Perhaps I did it poorly. Very nice though. Yeah, I was yawning anyway. I've had like 5 meetings today before this. So collisions do be weird. We have proven weird collisions. Very nice. Love that. Oh, I'm excited to see how far you get tomorrow. That's really cool. I unfortunately am copying a lot of code off the internet just because I am in meetings every day this week. But it'd be like that. Take lettuce. Well, lettuce is probably good for you. Alrighty. With that, I think we'll wrap up and call it good for today. spot. Thank you so much for joining. Tomorrow, like I said, we'll be going over and finishing last things and starting to combine things, which Kat's already ahead of. I might look at that code and be like, what do we need? So in the meantime, though, if you want to get familiar with things, definitely check out the GitHub and also try and finish Breakout and get it working in your own style, way, shape, form, Easter egg, everything. In the meantime, though, I am going to take a nap and probably figure out dinner and probably take a walk. But yeah, have a good one, everybody. And if I get to see you tomorrow, great. If not, I guess you'll see the recording. See you.